Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And here we have another box I just picked up, and we're going to do an unboxing. Here, live on G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, an official unboxing. So let me get you into a fairly decent position here, and I already have my knife ready. We're going to cut some tape here. I've heard of cutting through the red tape, but never cutting through the blue tape. Alright. And we have a box full of paper. How's that? Kidding. Alright, paper comes out. And what do we have? Another box. All right. So, now we got another box. Let's open this box. Of course, you already know what's in it because you can see that right on the box, can't you? Yeah. All right. So, inside the box, we have a single sheet for a pure sine wave inverter, 1500 watts. All right, so it's got operation instructions, attention, safety warnings, after service. It's got the low voltage warning information. So, it looks like actually this is 2 times. If you cut it in half right there, that is the same as that. So, we got twice the instructions. And yeah, I got a battery sitting back here just waiting because I knew what was in the box. So it looks like it's got some nice foam protectors in here. Nice blue color. I read an article that says people who like blue are usually extra intelligent. And blue's my favorite color. Matter of fact, many years ago, when I lived on the East Coast in Baltimore, Maryland, I drove a van back then too, and it was blue. And that was back in the days of CB radios. Everybody had one. And of course I did too. And my CB radio handle was Blue Moose. So, here we go. We have a power inverter from ALFFAA, 1500 watts, converts DC 12 volts to AC 110 volts. AC outlet, 1500 watts, USB port, 4.2 amps. On this end, we got 2 displays and 2 110 volt outlets. We have a 2.1 amp USB and a 2.1 amp USB. We got an on-off switch which was in the on position. We'll move that to the off position. Okay. Nothing on either side. Nothing on the bottom. On the back side, positive and negative with plastic connectors. They are inserted with a metal threading. Okay, and we got one flat washer, one lock washer on each. So it doesn't really give you much information looking at it, but let's go through the instructions here real quick. Okay, operating instruction. Plug the input power cable on the positive negative pole of the battery. Make sure it's well attached with the pole. Battery spelled wrong. That should be B-A-T-T-E-R-Y, not A-R-Y. Make sure well attached with the pole, okay? I guess that means make sure you got a tight connection. Turn on AC power switch and wait for 3 seconds. Make sure the LED power indication is working and is green. And fourth, connect your facility to the AC power socket or USB terminal, then can start to use. Attention! Do not put this product in humidity environment. I guess it's an indoor operation unit only. The operation temperature is between 0 and 40 degrees Celsius and prevent solarization. So I guess that means don't put it in the sun, direct sunlight either. Okay, safety warning. The product is only applicable for DC 12-volt battery. Again, battery spelt wrong. And please do not use with any dangerous equipment. Before using, make sure the power consumption of your AC equipment is lower than the operation range of this product. Please only use the cable attached with this product. Do not use other cable to prevent any damage or dangerous happened. Okay, now this does not come with cables, and the individual who sent it to me told me that. So please call our distributor if you have any question about the product. Please send back to us for repair. Repair's got an extra E at the end. If the product is out of order. Okay, so here's the spec sheet. And input power DC 10 to 15 volts. Output power 1500 watts. Output voltage AC 110 volts. Output frequency 60 hertz. USB output DC 5 volt 2.1 amp max. Peak power 1700 watt. Rated power 1500 watts. AC overload protection. Input power reverse protection. It's got a fuse. It must be an internal fuse because I saw nothing on the outside. It weighs 2.7 kilos. Battery low voltage protection is at 10 volts plus or minus a half a volt. Battery over voltage protection 15.5 volts plus or minus a half a volt. Now that would be interesting. 15.5 volts is pretty high, so you would probably never even see that on a LiPo 4 battery, so we should be safe there. And then it has the dimensions. Other than that, it doesn't really have any other information, and as I said, the bottom half is the same as the top half. So they printed 2 instructions per one sheet, 8.5 by 11, but instead of cutting in at half, they gave you the whole sheet, so you have 2 copies. All right, so I did get a set of cables ready here just in case. I'm going to make some connections and we'll run this thing through some tests. So this is G-Bear pausing. All right, everybody, I'm back. I got the wirings connected to the back of the inverter and up to the battery, as you can see. All right, so I already found one thing that I think could be fixed and modified a little bit is the bracket that they have here for the mounting bracket, so you can mount this thing stationary somewhere, is too close to the outlets. I wanted to plug my kilowatt meter in here so we can check the hertz and the voltage and all of that stuff on it. But when I try to plug it in, it goes in that far and hits the metal bracket. So as you can see, there's a big gap behind it. So what am I going to do? Well, I just happen to have this adapter, so I can plug this adapter in to there to extend it out a little ways, and then plug my kilowatt meter in like that. Now, of course, that would eliminate the other outlet because it's going to be blocked that way. If I move this one over here, there's still an overhang on this side, so it would be pretty close, but I could get a second plug-in on there. But at 1500 watts, we don't need to plug in that much stuff. Okay, so I'm going to have to lower the camera down a little ways here, so you'll be able to see the screen here. And we're going to turn this on. We had a beep. We're at 13.9 volts in the battery, and we got 112 volts coming out of the AC side. Not pulling any amps right now. So on the, let me see if I can get this down that low. On the kilowatt meter, let's see, volts. All right, there's something wrong there. Something's not right. It doesn't matter what button I push, I'm getting strange readings here. Okay, and I know it's not my kilowatt meter because I just removed it from something that it was using and it was working just fine. So let's get that off of there. And go in this side. Alright, this side is working fine. On this side I'm showing 111.5 volts, 112 volts up there, so that's about right. Amp should be 0. Watt should be 0. Hertz is showing 60 hertz, 60.1. So we won't have any kilowatt hours because we're not running anything on it. But that's strange. So let's try moving it back over to that other outlet and see what happens. Oh, suddenly it's working. Okay, that's a little worrisome. I don't know what happened there, but that was very strange. Let me shut this off and turn it back on and see if we get the same strangeness again. And yeah, we had that strange screen start up and then it went to the proper screen. So there's some issue with this inverter. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but we're gonna go further and see what we're gonna find out. Put you on pause while I get some things set up. Okay, everybody, I'm back. For you, it's only been a couple of seconds, but for me, it's been a few days. And why? Well, temperatures have been up around 105 degrees here for a few days. And since I had to run heating elements on this thing, I just didn't think it would be a good idea to try to heat up my cabin while my air conditioners are trying to keep me cool. So right now it's a cool morning and I figured I'm going to get this video completed, so let's get on with it. So our inverter here is at 112 volts, 13.1 volts coming in off the battery. All right, now it is rated for 1500 watts, 1500 watts, and it says that its peak power would be 1700 watts. So we're going to give that a test. I have my little portable heater here, and I have my heat gun here. And then I have my watt meter plugged in and set on watts right now, which is 00. So, first thing we're going to do is turn on the fan. And the fan on this thing, just the fan alone, usually takes about 8 watts. There we go, 8 watts on the meter. So it's about 8 watts that's being used right now, and that's running without a problem. So if we go up to low heat, and I do have the heat set to maximum, we're going to low heat, and that's going to be 500 watts roughly. And it's handling that at 4.4 amps on the inverter. Okay, so now we're going to move up to medium heat, which will be about 760 watts. 769, 760, yeah, 760. Okay, so it's handling 760 all right. Now we're going to go up to high heat, which is 1240 watts. That's just under what the rating on this thing is. And it's handling that without a problem. Okay. Now, if I take the heat gun and turn it on low, on the low setting, that's another 430 watts. And that's going to put us at 1650 watts, which is just under the max rating on this thing. So let's see what we get. Oh, we're getting a sound. We're at 1560. So it's set 1570, and the inverter is chirping. So let's shut that off, and we're going to lower the let's lower the fan down to medium, which, oh, it is on medium. I never did get up. Oh no, I'm on high. Okay, we're going to low down to medium, which gives us our 760 roughly, saying 750 now. All right, so now if I put the heat gun on, let's see, on high, that's going to be 1,000 watts from the heat gun, and that should put us over 1700, which should cause the inverter to go into shutdown. So let's go. Here we are. We're at 15.6 amps, drawing 1,718 watts. And the inverter is chirping, but it's not shutting down. and it's not really hot. Oh, there it goes. It did shut down after a few minutes. So it does work as it is reported to. Let's shut everything down here. So it did meet and pass the tests that I put it through. So it looks like I said, let me get this out of here so you can get a good look at the inverter. So, like I said, the Alpha is a good-looking little inverter. It has a few issues, like I said, that I think they could do a little bit better on. One is not having the outlet so close to the mounting bracket, because that only allows for a straight-in type plug. If you tried plugging your phone charger that was kind of a teardrop type unit, it wouldn't fit in there because it would hit on the bracket. So you would have to use those adapters like I did to be able to plug everything into it. So let's see if it resets itself, and it should. There it is, coming back up. 112 volts, 13.1 volts coming in, no amps draw on it. So all of that seems to work. Now I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to come back and we're going to do one more test, and that's going to be the USB ports. I'm going to just plug them in and see if it charges the cell phone, and we'll try both ports. Now it does say on here that it's 4.2 amps USB port, but there's two ports and they're 2.1 amps each. So they added those two together and put USB port at 4.2 amps, but that's a little misleading. So that should be modified. It should say two USB ports, 4.2 amps, not USB port 4.2, because it's not. These are 2.1. All right, so let me just pause you. Now, you know what? I'm going to let it run. It's only going to take a second for me to grab a USB cord, and we'll give this a test. Okay, I have my USB cord here, and we will plug it into the phone. And here we go on the bottom port. Okay, it says slow charging. So that is slow charging because it's only a 2.1 amp port, and fast charger requires a larger capacity port. So let's move it to the other port and see what we get from there. And I got nothing on it yet. Let me unplug it from the phone. Give it a few seconds to get out of charge mode. When I plug it in, it should make a little beeping sound that it's going to go into charge mode. Here we go. It's showing me at 86% on my battery. and it didn't go into slow charging warning on this one. So really unsure of what's going on there. In the meantime, let's just try one more time. Pull it out of that port and move it down to this port. It's showing 86%. Didn't give me a slow charge warning. All right, that's about it, everybody. So, in effect, the unit does pass muster. Like I said, just a few things that could be modified on it. So, if you're looking for a small inverter for your vehicle or your camping trips or something like that, I'd say this is a pretty good choice. I'll leave a link in the description of this video where you can go online and buy this thing, and there'll be a discount listed there also. So thanks for joining me, everybody. This is G Bear signing off.